You know what? Today's just one of those days that I want to look up my older videos on my channel. Let's see here. Oh yeah! I forgot that I made my top 10 Pokemon anime openings list. Let's see here. See you in about a month again for my top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Openings. Oh yeah, I remember making that joke. How long ago has it been since this video has been posted anyway? Oh, that's how long it's been. Hello everybody! Infernape Shinjo here, and yes, I know this video is long overdue, but there's a little bit of a story to go along with this. To start, I am very bad at planning, and I guess along the way I just forgot about making this video while I was busy with my Let's Talk Anime series. And second, around the time that I was ready to make this video, I heard that Vrains was going to get a new opening, so I wanted to hold off until that opening came out, just on the off chance that my thoughts would have changed. But Vrains' new opening is out, and I'm finally going to put this to rest, so here is my top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime openings list. Now before I get into this, just keep in mind that this list is entirely my opinion. It's totally okay if your top 10 is different than my top 10. And as well, this is going to be a combination of Japanese and dub openings for Yu-Gi-Oh! So with that prologue out of the way, here is my top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime openings. Number 10 is Halfway to Forever from Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. Now, needless to say, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal isn't the most favorite among the Yu-Gi-Oh! franchises, and I'm aware that that's not complete English, but it works in the sense that I'm trying to explain it. I didn't keep up with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal when it first premiered in Japan. At that point, I was only watching the dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! But when it came over to dub, I know that very few people were a fan of the Zexal dub, because of Yuma basically feeling like a reset after we had some characters like Yusei and Jaden. But overall, I feel it's just that people saw Yuma, saw his character, and completely wrote off the whole show without watching a little bit into it. Now, of course, putting my bias into this, Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal isn't one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-offs at the moment, but I can definitely appreciate for what it was trying to be, trying to have that whole relationship with Yugi and Atem from Duel Monsters, except not entirely. And I think the opening had some part of that, because I wasn't a fan of the first opening of Zexal dubbed. I just felt like it was a little bit too... I couldn't really explain it, but I wasn't a fan of it as much as I am with Halfway to Forever. Although I do like the song because it has that cool rock beat, I was taken back a little bit because they literally throw Yuma's catchphrase right into it. So while it seems like I'm giving this song a whole lot of praise, that one little part is keeping it from making it higher than number 10. Number 9 is Pendulum Beat from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And after listening to all of the Arc 5 openings and examining them, in my opinion, this feels like the outlier from all of them. Just because of the beat that it has, and considering that it's the last opening of Arc 5, and up to that point, a lot of the songs have been a lot more kind of morbid. Pendulum Beat just seemed a little bit more upbeat than previous endings of Yu-Gi-Oh! Because Duel Monsters was Overlap, GX was Precious Times Glory Days, and 5Ds was Road to Tomorrow Going My Way. And those just seem a lot more appropriate as endings when you compare it to Pendulum Beat. Just because Pendulum Beat, at that point, everybody was trying to wonder what's going to happen with the U-Boys, what's going to happen with the Bracelet Girls, and instead of getting a super serious opening to end the show on, we get something like Pendulum Beat, which very obscure, I guess to call it. Now, don't get me wrong, even though I'm saying all that, I absolutely love the song, especially the part in the full version where they just have that breakdown before the chorus at the last end, maybe last minute of the song. But it just seems a bit out there when you compare it to the other openings that Arc 5 has had. And to top it all off, I absolutely love the cover that Mark Groot did of this song. That link will be in the description. Number 8 is Believe in Nexus from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Just to give a little background, it was around the 5Ds era where I was finding out about Japanese openings. That's how I found out about Together from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. And it was around the 5Ds era that I heard about all their Japanese openings as well. Now, with all that said and done, I did still watch 5Ds in the dub, but I like this song. There's not really anything specific that I can pinpoint that is why I love this song. It just has a cool beat. I love the start of it, where Yusei and his friends ride in and they take off. And more importantly, I didn't know this until writing out the script for this video, but apparently a nexus is a connection of two or more things, which is kind of nice storytelling for the sake of 5Ds, because in the first opening, you just have Yusei walking by himself, all alone in the satellite, and then the second opening, you have Yusei facing off against the Dark Signers, and then now jump over to the fourth opening, I believe, with Believe in Nexus, and you have Yusei and all of his friends together. It's just nice storytelling, and I'm not sure if they did that on purpose, but if they did, good job. Number 7 is Get Your Game On from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. To shorten this whole part up, the reason that it's number 7 on my list is nostalgia. Okay, moving on. No, but in actual seriousness, I do have an attachment to this song. I remember when it first came out on, I believe it was called Maguzi on Cartoon Network. It was around like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, and they had Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I think they might have had more anime on there. I can't remember at the moment. But I just remember hearing that opening and watching the first episode of the dub with Jaden facing off against Crowler. It just brings back great memories. And that's honestly it. I like the beat of it. The words are kind of normal for an opening, but I like the song anyway. Number 6 is Precious Times Glory Days from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Hey, would you look at that? 2 GX openings back to back. For a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Fans, I'm sure you know this story if you've kept up with the dub and the sub of Yu-Gi-Oh! Specifically GX. The dub of GX covered from the beginning up until Jaden dueled Yubel right around the end, and he sacrificed himself, seemingly. That means that the whole Season 4 with Darkness and Truman, it didn't happen at all for dub viewers. Long after the dub of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX was finished, and probably into the 5Ds era as well, I was starting to question why isn't Season 4 of GX here, and the only way that I could figure out what happens in Season 4 is to watch it myself. And of course, this opening played at the start of every episode. Of course, that's how openings work. But watching it every single time and seeing this opening every single time, I've got attached to it. And to top it all off, I love Psychic Lover's voice, the person that sings this opening. They just have a distinct voice, and regardless of what song they sing, you can easily tell that it's them. Number 5 is Burn from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. Now, I mentioned earlier about how Pendulum Beat is an outlier in the Arc 5 openings, and out of all the Arc 5 openings, I personally like Burn the most. Just because, first of all, it's so motivating. I'm pretty sure if you read the lyrics, it says something about basically motivating you to do something or something to that effect. I don't know the exact translation of it. But I like how they played that at the end of the very last episode of Arc 5. Even though Burn wasn't the first opening of Arc 5, I feel like a lot of people could just easily say that Burn is basically Yuya's theme, even though I think he actually has an official theme, but that's a different story. But I just like Burn. There's no way that I can't at least sing along to the words just a little bit, even if I'm not sure about the translation of it. Number 4 is Go Forward from Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains. So yes, for everybody wondering, the new opening of Vrains is on my list, and there's a bit of a story with this one. To start, I was hooked on this song the instant I heard it. I just love the beat, the lyrics, the visuals, everything. Now, of course, you may be thinking, if you like the song so much, why isn't it higher up? Well, the song is still new, so I might be just having a whole lot of bias towards it just because it's new. And I know all about bias. In my top 10 anime openings that I made maybe 3 months ago, maybe longer, the anime that I was watching at the time, New Game, their first opening was number 1 on my list. Oh, sorry, spoilers if you haven't watched that video, but now you probably won't. But who knows, maybe a few years down the road where I look back on Go Forward, I might put it higher up on my list, I might put it lower on my list. Who knows? Number 3 is Hyperdrive from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. In a lot of videos where I discuss Yu-Gi-Oh!, I do not shy away from saying that the 5Ds era was my childhood. That wasn't the first one that I watched, obviously. The original Duel Monsters was the first one. But 5Ds was around the time that I was in high school. And I just love 5Ds just because high school wasn't really great. It wasn't really bad. It was more like average, I guess to call it. But I love this opening. And I just think it's cool how they had a competition for what the opening would be. If you're not aware, Hyperdrive was in the running for the 5D's dub opening, along with a couple of other ones. And even though Hyperdrive did win, I still think that Need for Speed or Rev It Up would have been a better choice for the opening, but that's just my personal take. But if you've seen all of the 5D's openings, or should I say heard, would be more correct, let me know what you think about all of them, and which one you prefer the 5D's dub would have taken as their opening. Number 2 is the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening theme from Duel Monsters. The only reason I call it the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening theme is because I don't think it actually has an official title. I guess anything you could argue it's called Your Move, but there's already another Yu-Gi-Oh! Song with that. That was from the Pyramid of Light movie, I believe. You knew that this was going to be on this list. And if you didn't, well, it's here now. Even though I said that I have nostalgia for 5Ds, there is way much more nostalgia for the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening. Anybody that has seen the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening and viewed it as it was dubbed, you knew that this theme was great. It had very little words. The only words that it had were Your Move and It's Time to Duel. At least that's what I can think of off the top of my head. If there are any other ones, then whatever. But even though they had very little words, you knew that it was the Yu-Gi-Oh! Opening theme. And obviously it must have worked because at the time that I'm recording this, it seems like the Vrains opening is going to be taking a page from that book and having it be primarily instrumental, which I just think is cool. It just goes to show that just because you're going to have an opening theme doesn't necessarily mean that it has to have words along with it. And number 1, which was actually already shown in this video, is Road to Tomorrow, Going My Way from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Like I mentioned already, I'm using part of that song in my opening card, and I just love the song. It's my favorite 5Ds opening. I already mentioned about how 5Ds is huge in my childhood, so you knew that Road to Tomorrow was probably going to be on here somewhere. And I can compare it to Arc 5's Burn in a way that is just motivational, but 5Ds just takes it to the next level. I mean, just think about the title, Road to Tomorrow, Going My Way. That just sounds inspirational to begin with. Then when you listen to the song, it's great. I made a fan-made opening maybe a couple weeks back, it's probably longer when this video comes out, using this song with Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. I will link that probably at the end of this video so you can watch it. But I just love this opening, and I'm gonna try to make Road to Tomorrow Going My Way with all of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Spin-offs. Don't hold me to that, I'm gonna try. But if one doesn't come out in a couple of months, don't go to the comment section and say, "Where's this video? You promised it would be here." But yeah, Road to Tomorrow Going My Way is number 1 on my list. and it's a great song. If you haven't heard it, you should. But those are my top 10 Yu-Gi-Oh! Openings. Let me know what you think. What are some of your favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Openings? And if this is your first video of mine, make sure to mock punch that like button if you enjoyed, and subscribe so you don't miss any of my other videos. Again, apologies that this video is out so late, but I'm just horrible at time management. I will try to get this video out within a couple of days. This is being recorded on May the 5th, and I'm going to try and have it out the following Monday. But if not, again, I guess bad at time management. This is Infernape Shinjo, and I'm signing out. Have an awesome day, everybody.